Coming up on UTRGV-TV, UTRGV students living on the other side of the border can't come to class following the Brownsville Gateway International Bridge closure after hundreds of migrants protest. We speak with Dining Services officials on the newly implemented snack and go kart, and a recent report reveals UTRGV student voting registration rates increased since 2014. We have this and so much more. UTRGV-TV starts now. Hey there, welcome back to another edition of UTRGV TV. I'm Jose Guerrero. The Brownsville Gateway International Bridge closes after hundreds of migrants protest. UTRGV students living on the other side of the border couldn't come to class. Our reporter Verilu Infante has more on the story.
I was shocked. I didn't have words.
Lourdes Ruiz lives in Matamoros, Mexico, and crosses the Cameron County Gateway International Bridge to study music education at UTRGV.
Well, even before college. I've been crossing for 10 years now, almost 10 years.
One morning, while on her way to her 8 a.m. class, she found the bridge was closed. U.S. officials closed the bridge following an incident from earlier this month in which close to 300 undocumented immigrants blocked the Mexico side of the Cameron County Gateway International Bridge.
And I was there since 6:30. I crossed like at 8:15.
Ruiz states she wasn't upset after seeing photos on Facebook of the migrants blocking and protesting.
You know, I was angry, but not at them. I was angry at the fact that that had to happen, for people to realize how important it is to cross every day. And it saddens me that had to happen, to people to realize that this is not a political, just a political issue. This is just an issue, like an actual issue. Not I'm right, I'm wrong, I'm Democratic, I'm conservative. This is a human right issue.
We reached out to the Dean of Students to ask what can be done to aid students in situations like these.
In the event that there are dynamic changes at the bridge that impede the ability for students to be able to cross, or there's concerns over safety on a particular day, I would really encourage students to reach out to their faculty as soon as possible to let them know about their situation. And I know that faculty would be willing to work in most cases, with our students to ensure that they receive the information that maybe they missed that particular day, or to make arrangements with them.
Gadsden states, in the case of a border closure and students are not able to cross back, UTRGV will work with students to give them temporary housing and necessities until they can return home. Reporting in Brownsville for UTRGV-TV, I'm Verilu Infante.
The snack and go kart catches the eye of students on the Edinburgh campus and on social media. Juliana Quiroz speaks to the driver and informs us on future developments for the new service.
You see him driving around the Edinburgh campus in what looks like a bright orange golf cart, greeting students as they get off the bus. He's Joel Lara, the driver for what is called the snack and go kart just implemented back in September.
Be afraid, to stop the cart or anything. It's for that purpose, passing periods. Y'all have a short period of time. Just grab something to eat real quick, go ahead. Sodexo
marketing coordinator Susie Gonzalez says there are top 20 customer favorite snacks, as well as meals available for purchase, such as the El Pato breakfast taco and Chick-fil-A sandwich. This Brownsville student purchased a bag of chips, but says he only did it because it's what he calls a novelty.
It really isn't. There isn't much of a difference to going to the vending machine.
And while this student says it's more expensive to buy from the cart, Gonzalez says otherwise.
Everything we get from our C-store or from our Chick-fil-A, and it's all the same pricing. There's no price changes at all.
She also adds that the investment for the cart does not come from student tuition, but from the company Sodexo. Gonzalez says there's not a set schedule or route for LADA, but they do follow the bus shuttle schedule since the bus stop next to the visitor center is a hot spot.
Tries to target all areas of the campus where there's a high traffic of students or faculty and staff.
She says they'll have some signage in the next couple of weeks designating an area as a snack and go-kart stop.
Although there's only one snack and go-kart here on the Edinburgh campus, Gonzalez says she's working on implementing one before the month of November on the Brownsville campus. If you have any suggestions for the cart, you can always talk to Joel Lara, the driver, or you can contact Campus Dining Services through social media. For now in Edinburgh, for UTRGV-TV, I'm Juliana Quiroz.
The City of Edinburgh will have its first Master Plan Town Hall meeting on October 30th. The meeting will discuss on how the community will be developing in the future and how you can voice your opinion. The Director of Planning and Zoning for Edinburgh states, if the community wants to change, they have to get involved.
You want to make a difference in your community, you want to see changes, you need to get engaged. They want to see individuals engaged. They want your input. And these town hall meetings are going to be a really good way for the general public to come in and say, you know what, this is what we would like to see our community. This is how we would like to see our community developed in the future.
The meeting will be held at Edinburgh Parks and Recreation Center at 315 West Palm Drive at 6 p.m. For more information, visit their website or follow their Facebook page. The Health Advocacy Summit, hosted by the Graduate Rehabilitation Counseling Association, or GRCA, was held this past Saturday. We talked to the event coordinator for more.
So we started out in Indiana, and we are now operating nationally, and we are really excited to be part of UTRGV, the Graduate Rehabilitation Counseling Association, and get to work with them to put on a summit in South Texas.
It was a day-long, no-cost event. The GRCA's mission is to empower young adults with chronic and rare diseases through advocacy events and programs. A recent report by the Institute for Democracy and Higher Education reveals UTRGV student voting registration rates increased by nearly 10% since 2014. Our reporter Rocio Villalobos speaks with the UTRGV Director of Governmental Relations to find out what this could mean for the future of the Valley.
Hidalgo County has a historically low voter turnout rate, but recent data from the National Study for Voting, Learning, and Engagement shows UTRGV student voting rates has increased by more than 26% since the 2014 midterms.
So we went from being below the national average to being above the national average.
Veronica de la Garza serves as a co-chair of Vaqueros Vote, a nonpartisan coalition of faculty, staff, and students working to increase civic participation among the UTRGV community, led by the Offices of Student Activities and Governmental Relations. The coalition hosts outreach events throughout the year to encourage students to become politically active.
They were bringing in Cameron County elections, Hidalgo County elections, to create those trainings here on campus, so that way if our students wanted to hold voter registration at their meetings or, while they're tabling at any of the events.
According to the NSLVE report, nearly 8,500 more students voted in the 2018 election than in the 2014. And the rate of students voting between the ages of 18 to 21 more than doubled.
So I think, as we as a community and as a student body get more involved, it allows us to amplify our voices on whatever issues of concern.
De la Garza adding, with the U.S. Census nearing, it's especially important for the community to be civically engaged. Reporting in Edinburgh for UTRGV-TV, Rocio Villalobos.
Early voting starts October 21st. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The Cameron County District Attorney Office hopes to keep the public informed on the topic with forums around the county. Nathaniel Puente has more.
The faces you see on this table are victims of domestic violence, and each year over 12 million men and women will suffer from domestic abuse. The message of this year's Domestic Violence Forum and Vigil is to stop the cover-up and speak out.
Love is not abuse. We don't hurt the people that we love.
It's an issue we see far too often: domestic violence.
Domestic violence is an epidemic in Cameron County, in Brownsville, in some of East Orange, and all the other small communities.
The Cameron County District Attorney Office hosted 2 forums last week addressing the various forms of domestic violence and urging those who observe it or are affected by it to speak out.
So we have to empower the young people, give them the resources to meet these challenges, and to indoctrinate them that when you have a challenge, do not resort to violence, that there's other ways of dealing with relationships, but not violence.
Attendees saw art portraying domestic abuse, heard about Cameron County victims, and how to spot the signs. For many, this event shines light on a necessary topic.
A lot of people don't know what's going on, so they don't realize that people in other homes are going through these terrible things, and they need to be known so that they can find a way to help those people.
The Cameron County District Attorney Office hopes that victims will reach out to various sources for help. If you or anyone you know is affected by domestic abuse, contact the numbers on your screen. Reporting from Harlingen for UTRGV-TV, I'm Nathaniel Puente.
Students searching for a career in the hospitality and tourism field no longer have to worry, as UTRGV now offers a hospitality and tourism major. Here's the story. The hospitality and tourism industry is a huge industry, not only locally, but globally, says Dr. A.J. Singh, the Director of Hospitality and Tourism Management in the School of Business at UTRGV.
Within the UT system, we don't have a hospitality and tourism management program, so UTRGV would be the first one to be offering this degree. Hospitality and tourism management is also a business major, and it has the advantage of getting students started in a specific industry.
He says those who currently are in a major are open to doing a minor in hospitality and tourism.
If you don't want to even switch your major or do a minor, you're certainly open to take a few courses because all majors usually have some electives.
Dr. Singh says by choosing the hospitality and tourism management major or minor, students will graduate with potentially multiple job offers as the field has so many opportunities. Reporting in Brownsville for UTRGV-TV, I'm Jose Guerrero. UTRGV-TV would like to remind you that Fright Fest will be coming up this Wednesday, October 23rd at 7 p.m. in the Edinburgh Student Union. Don't miss out on the zombie prom, haunted house, free food, a dance floor, and much more spooky fun. Now let's send it over to Nathaniel Puente for this week in UTRGV Sports.
We're over halfway through the semester, and this is when things start to get really intense. So to keep the spirit of intensity alive, let's go head first into our highlights. See? Intense. UTRGV hosted Grand Canyon on Sunday in a conference showdown, Rio Grande versus Rio Grande. A couple of shot attempts is all we saw on the night, as defense was the story here. If the actual Grand Canyon played in this one, the result would be the same. A 0-0 draw after two halves and a couple overtime periods. Couldn't find a winner. Well, let's move on to a team that might actually score some goals. UTRGV women's soccer was facing California Baptist. They're the new kids on the block in the WAC, so this should be an easy win for UTRGV, right? Well, that's why they play the game. UTRGV headed into this game with an undefeated mark against the Lancers. That's right, they are 1-0. But early on, California Baptist did their job to even the series. Carly Weeks and Miranda Hald added goals for the Lancers in the first half for an early 2-0 lead. Later, Hald would put the icing on the cake with another goal to give her team a 3-0 win. The weekend wasn't over there for UTRGV though. The Vaqueros were still California dreaming as they faced CSU Bakersfield on Sunday. This time around, the UTRGV defense held the opposition out of the net the whole game while scoring a goal of their own in the second half, courtesy of Maya Chitman, her first goal on the year. The Vaqueros would hold on and extend their WAC record to 3-1-1.
Win at home, we did that. It doesn't matter how it comes, and we're now at our fourth consecutive winning record as a program. We're in the WAC playoffs, so we're pretty proud of our achievements.
Coming into the weekend, UTRGV volleyball had a 3-3 conference record, and the shades of last year's WAC regular season champs are starting to fade. But hey, a matchup against Chicago State to open the weekend could change things, because since 1996, UTRGV has only lost to Chicago State one time, and that was in 2011 when the name of the school wasn't even UTRGV. The whole state of Chicago took on UTRGV, and would it be enough to take them down? The Vaqueros put away the first two sets fairly easily thanks to Sarah Cruz and Victoire Nama trading kills. The third set was a bit more intense, but UTRGV pulled away with a 25-23 win off a Sarah Cruz kill. With the set win, the Vaqueros picked up the 3-0 sweep win. Kansas City, Missouri hosted the team's next match as UTRGV faced UMKC. The Roos jumped out to an early two-set lead thanks to some impressive hitting. The Vaqueros came back in the third set with a dominating set win. Barbara Silva stood out as the offensive force there, but in the fourth set, UMKC broke through with a dominant set win of their own. This one, though, gave them the match. UTRGV has a 4-4 conference record that's pretty average, and that leaves them 5th place in the WAC standings. But 8 of their last 10 games are at home, so they can wrap up the season on a positive note. Much like they can do that, let's wrap up this sportscast. Back to you, Jose.
Thanks, Nate. Now here's this week's police reports released to us by UTRGV PD this past week. On October 14th, an officer was dispatched to parking lot E37 on the Edinburgh campus in reference to an auto pedestrian accident involving a staff member. The staff member reported he was struck by a vehicle while walking to his car. The operator was identified as an employee with a company contract by the university. Emergency Medical Services responded to the scene and transported the staff member to Rio Grande Regional 24-hour emergency care. On October 15th, an officer was dispatched to UTRGV Land Bridge on the Brownsville campus in reference to 3 male individuals seen running in the area by UTRGV facilities supervisor. U.S. Border Patrol arrived on the scene and detained a total of 8 individuals. All individuals were Mexican nationals. That same day at 4:05 p.m., an officer was dispatched to UT Houston Regional Academic Health Center on the Brownsville campus in reference to a female staff member being struck by a cabinet door that fell and hit her forehead while cleaning the area. Emergency Medical Services was requested and she was transported to the local hospital for further evaluation. That's all we have for you today, but remember, if you have a story you would like for us to know about, or you know someone who's making an impact on campus or in the community, you can contact us through our social media or email at utrgv.edu. We have community and UTRGV news for you every week. The code word is witches. See you next time.